Hi, this is Karen from Mobwives. You are now tuned into The Biz with D.
All right, everybody. Thank you for all tuning in to The Biz with D, of course, on My First Wings Radio at Mr. D Rockstar. Wow, I said at Mr. D Rockstar. I didn't even say my name, David Dwayne. Oh, I'm getting ignorant nowadays. But anyway, we got Karen from Mobwives on the line. I mean, she is definitely doing her thing outside of the show, you know, getting involved with the music industry, has a book out, and I mean, just doing great things, and she's on with us. How you doing, Karen?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So the first thing I definitely wanted to talk to you about is Mob Daughter. I love the book. Kind of tell us what made you decide to write this book.
You know, that book is my foundation. I was working on it way before Mobwives. I just felt that, you know, there are so many stories out there, whether they're fiction, true stories, and there's so many mob-related stories. And I just felt like no one's ever really told what the families go through or told it through, like, a child's eyes. And, you know, being that my father is Sammy the Bull and there's just so many kind of, like, components to his story, I just felt like, you know, me being able to tell what I went through, because I was his daughter, being attached to that life, and basically the mistakes that I made because of the way I felt due to his choices. And, you know, honestly, it was more of like a coming-to-terms book because I felt like I made my mistakes, you know, and I did the things that I did, but a lot of times I put blame on my father or the situation. It really was me coming full circle and realizing that you have to take responsibility for the things that you do in your life and just stand strong behind, you know, the people you love and who you are, and you'll be able to get through any situation. So it's kind of like a whole bunch of things, really, just pretty much trying to put a lot of the truth out there, and also me coming to terms with myself.
Right. And I love how you definitely, there's a lot of truth in there, and you come to terms with yourself. I mean, was it kind of hard to put out something like this and just be very honest about, you know, living, you know, being a part of that lifestyle as a child? Like, was it hard for you send that out?
You know, it was hard because I have forgiveness for a lot of things that happened in my life, and I didn't want to, and like my father, for instance, I didn't want him to ever feel like I was putting blame on him for choices that I went through, so I didn't want to put it out there like, you know, I blamed him and this is why I did what I did, but I just really sat back, thought about my life, thought of why everything happened, and, you know, just put it out there. Like, you know, even with my uncle, I am close with my aunt and my, you know, and my family, and a lot of things that happened with the situation with him. You know, he's in jail for, you know, wanting to kill my father, and pretty much my father probably would have wanted to kill him at one point in that, you know, in his life, just due to that lifestyle. And it's just hard because we're still family. So it's like telling that story and being able to express the fact that those choices were the men's choices because of that lifestyle. For us, we're still family, and we don't hold blame. Like, and I know this sounds crazy, but all of the men that are involved in that world choose to be part of that lifestyle. And it's unfortunate that the families go through what they go through, but you can't really put blame on one person. You know what I mean? I understand what my father is, the choices he made, the things that he has done, and I understand that if God forbid something happens to him, I'm going to have to accept it because that was the path he chose.
And it is, and I just got to commend you on, you know, just wanting to be honest and put out a book about certain things like that, because it's, you know, it's a lot of times, you know, being the lifestyle, the mob lifestyle, you know, everything is about being, you know, hardcore and not, you know, being very honest. And you really, you know, told how you felt as a child, I mean, even as an adult, and that's really brave of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I think that in my story I found that there was a message, and I just felt like even if you're not in the mob or, you know, or living, let's say, the street type of lifestyle, there's a message in there, and it's, you know, no matter what you go through, your father can be the CEO of a company, and you know, I've been through situations in life where, you know, here I had a friend who had the average, you know, you would think American household family, and, you know, come to find out that she was violated by her father. So to me, it was like when I started thinking about all this, I'm like, I had a father, yes, he did not choose the perfect, you know, career path, and maybe it did affect me in some sort of way, but he was always a father. He was a protector. I never feared him. I never feared that he would hurt me. He always protected me. So in my message, you know, it's just like no matter whatever your circumstances are, and everybody goes through it. You know, for me, people think like, oh, my God, I couldn't have lived your life. But I look at other people and think, oh, my God, I couldn't have lived your life. So it's just about, you know, basically coming to terms with everything that you go through, who you are, standing behind what you believe in, and being able to accept your past and move forward.
And I think it's a good thing that you said that, because I'm sure as hell Beyonce said the same thing with that Pepsi ad. It just reminded me when you singing that. So I mean, good to just want to have positive energy like that. I love that. That's why I loved your personality. That's why I was like so quick. I was like, Karen, follow me. Absolutely love you on the show. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anytime. So I know that you're getting into some music right now. I know during the season we did see that you were doing some investing with the studio for your daughter, and you definitely are getting involved with the music. Kind of tell us about how it is for you so far, getting involved.
You know, it's been amazing. It's a learning experience. Again, this is my first time being involved in anything like this in the music industry. My partner, Storm, has, you know, been in the industry forever. He is working with a rapper who's amazing. His name is Tug, and we're about to drop his album real soon. But it's just kind of like things that I never thought I would do before I'm doing, and it's fun. It's interesting. I'm learning the whole business because me, I'm like an over-compulsive person. Like when I do something, I have to know everything wrong, right, or, you know, indifferent, how to be able to make sure I'm successful at it. So it's also fun because I'm developing a pop group, which my daughter is involved in that group, Ramona's daughter, and my niece. And I have another niece that we're also developing as well. So this is kind of like a family thing, and I call it my baby because they are my baby. So I'm taking it, you know, one step at a time. We actually just linked up with a Grammy award-winning producer, songwriter. So she's coming on board with the project from basically we're bringing this, like, it's from birth till you know, till we don't stop until they become successful. And all the girls are definitely talented. They have an amazing personality. You know, the rapper, that he has like a portfolio and a catalog. He's been working with Storm for years. He's more than just a rapper. You know, he's a comedian. He's a personality. So I feel real confident in the people that we're working with. I am, you know, basically going in like a boss. Like, I want to be the label. I want to be able to not just sign these people and make a little bit of money. I want to be able to help mold them and build their careers. And, you know, listen, coming in from Mob Wise, from the get-go, I learned my mistakes and the things that I made. I could have done things as far as the business sense a little bit differently. So right now my business cap is on. You know, I'm really trying to make it work all the way around. And the music thing is fun, it's exciting, and it's a huge opportunity.
Definitely. So, I mean, we got to, you know, we all want to know, the listeners want to know, are you and Storm, are you guys dating? Because, I mean, it kind of seems like as if, I mean, I don't want to get too much in your personal life, but, I mean, Karen, are y'all dating? Cause
I'm on reality TV, so there's nothing, just my personal life isn't private anymore. But, yes, we are dating. It started off as a business relationship. There was definitely a strong attraction there. And, you know, it's kind of like something like you're like, okay, are we attracted to each other, and do we even want to explore that because we are business partners? And honestly, like, when I say I'm one of those people where I'm very, I don't do anything that's going to mess up my opportunity of making money. I'm very driven, and I just, you know, we both sat down and we're like, listen, we're very attracted to each other. We like each other, but I also really respect him as a business partner. So if our personal relationship, which, you know, I'm a girl and he's a guy, it can very easily go left, we want to make sure that we're really focused on the business. So it's interesting because I never dated like a business partner before. So it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you want to like say, oh, you're late to the video shoot, or, you know, and then it gets something personal involved. But we're doing a really good job of keeping business, pleasure. And he's a great guy. You know, I've learned a lot from him. And we, you know, I foresee us definitely this personal relationship growing. But if it doesn't by any means, I think we're both mature enough to know that we want to be friends because we really, you know, respect each other as friends foremost, first and foremost, yes. Friends.
Absolutely.
But also, you know, it's definitely a plus, and he's a great guy, and I'm very attracted to him. So we're doing the dating thing as well.
Well, hey, that's a plus.
Yeah.
You never know. Sometimes with relationships it goes sour because relationships have to have those moments, and then you guys reconnect, and then it's like then there's wedding bells. So you never know. I hope the best for you guys because you definitely seem very happy from what we see.
Yeah.
So.
And I just look at it like one day at a time. I can't stress the what ifs, and honestly, I'm 40, and Ramona always kills me every time I say I'm my age.
What?
2 months older than me. I'm 40.
You look good.
Thank you. But I'm not. I believe in marriage and all that, but I believe in commitment of relationships first and foremost. So I think that, like, for me, it's not running to the altar and finding a husband. It's really finding someone that shares the same vision with me and wants to help me grow in my personal life.
Definitely.
And I don't do the whole court thing, so I'd rather just, we can get married under the moon or something.
Under the moon. You are a trip. So, I mean, besides that going on, the music, the book that you have out, Mob Wives, the reunion, special will be airing on Sunday. I mean, can you kind of give us tell us what we can kind of expect?
The reunion is definitely, it's I wouldn't say anyone's going to be surprised because it's true to Mob Wives. There's a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering, a lot of going back and forth. There's definitely a lot of bombs that are going to be dropped on a certain cast member. She's, going to be revealed to being the person that she is. Maybe, as long as they don't cut it out, I'm sure. But there was a full audience there, so of 150 people. So we kind of, pulled the plug on a cast member to say how her true feelings are. And, at the end of the day, I think that
now, who's she?
Overall,
you're referencing she. Who's she?
Well, if you tuned into Mob Wives, you would know that me and Drita have moved past our differences. I get along with Renee and Ramona.
Right.
Love is my friend. So there's only Ange or Carla, and who could fight with Big Ange? So I think that kind of narrows it down for you.
Exactly. I wasn't going to try to, dive in with the whole, Drita thing because I really respect you and what you've got going on. So I really try not to really talk about the show as I didn't. So
right.
So we're definitely
Mob Wives is a springboard for me. When I chose to come on the show, I think I was the character that basically bring the mob with the whole background and stuff. And all the girls on the show definitely have personalities that added to it. The fights were real, the emotions are real, but at the end of the day, I think that my career didn't start with Mob Wives. Like, I obviously have this history of mob for many, many, many years. And it's something that I lived through. That's why my book, I think, was so successful. And, I'm actually in the process of optioning the life rights to the book to a movie. I have a couple of appointments in Hollywood next week to meet with, and my book actually, I did have a movie deal on the table that I kind of X'd out because I wasn't really happy with the script, and I just felt that as I was writing my book, that this was more of the story I wanted to put out there, so I kind of canceled out my movie deal, and now I'm going to go back and revisit it. So I have a bunch of meetings and a bunch of producers, directors, and even actors that are interested, so it's a good thing.
Oh, wow. Well, if you need somebody to do some kind of acting or an extra, call me up. I'm looking for some work in that area.
Okay.
So,
I will.
Karen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell all the listeners where they can find you and just keep up to date with your movement.
I found this new obsession of mine. I'm kind of like trying to stay away from carbs, so I've been addicted to Instagram. It's like it's crazy because it's like you can post this picture of everything that you're doing. So I'm on Instagram all the time, posting pictures, and it's just Karen Gravano on Instagram. Or on Twitter, I kind of do updates and, a lot of my appearances and stuff I'll put out there on Instagram and Twitter. But on Twitter, my follow is @KarenGravanoVH1. So Instagram is just Karen Gravano, and Twitter is @KarenGravanoVH1.
Definitely. You're following us on there, and we're following you, so I don't even have to ask you to follow us at all. I love that. Yay. Because generally when I get people on the show, I'll be like, oh, you need to follow me back. And then they come back to second.
No, I just like to support people, out there every now and then. I'll catch a vibe with the person, and I just think it's all about support and people trying to build each other and lift each other up. So
Definitely.
I appreciate you guys, supporting me, so I'm going to support back.
Anytime. I love the humble energy. I just love it. Keep it, because it goes a long way.
I have no choice because my father is still Sammy, and
right.
he keeps me in check all the time. He just told me the other day something about myself. So, I have a very strong family unit, and I think that if my ego, which I don't forever see it getting that way, but if it ever did, my father would kick it right back into place. So thank you guys so much.
Anytime, Karen. Thank you. You have a good rest of the day.
Okay.